Well, that was a really interesting interview with Jessica Lappin and Tony Simone. In fact, if you need to get in touch with Tony Simone, you can go to tsimone@stribling.com, TSIMONE at stribling, STRIBLING.com, or Tony has a really interesting blog, TONYSIMONE.com, and he talks about everything relating to New York real estate and culture, and it's very educational and informative, and I learn a lot from Tony every day. He's also a very snazzy dresser, very handsome fellow, unlike myself, who has a radio face. And we're going to be talking about design right now with Amir Khamneipur, who is a top interior designer. He has been featured in residential buildings throughout New York and the East Coast. Some of them are the Bristol, Grove Point, Trump Plaza, the classic Blake 63. And he is the head of the Amir Khamneipur Design Team. Welcome, Amir.
Thank you so much, Rob.
So I hear you're in Palm Beach right now. I just got back.
I'm actually back in New York. I got back last night. I'm in New York, and I was supposed to be going down to Palm Beach, but I'm leaving tomorrow morning. The opening of our sales center for the Bristol is tomorrow between 5 and 8 in Palm Beach. So very excited about that.
So much for my intel.
So I was supposed to be in Palm Beach, but I decided I had a meeting today, so I decided to postpone it a little bit.
So we were just talking actually about one of our recent guests, Peter Penoyer, who's an architect, and that was a very interesting show. I love art and design. I'm terrible at it. I can't even envision anything, even when I'm looking at the photo. Tell us about what you do and the difference between your job and an architect's, or the similarities.
Okay. Well, I think that the way I started my career was as a furniture, lighting, and accessories designer. I've always loved luxury items and furniture, mainly really objects as opposed to interior design originally. So I studied industrial design at the Rhode Island School of Design, then studied in Paris, with teachers like Philippe Starck and people like that. And then I ended up going to Barcelona and studying porcelain casting. And that's where my passion was. And then I came to New York and I started working for interior designers, doing mainly objects and fixtures and furnishings. And then eventually ended up becoming design director of a showroom called Lauren Marsh, which is one of the most exclusive and expensive furniture and lighting stores in the world. And designing pieces for them, going around the world to Murano, Italy, and working with the glass masters, and going to Paris and working with the bronze masters, and going to South America. All these things led me to designing really unique, beautiful, and luxurious objects. And then I would say around 13 years ago, when there was a big real estate boom, developers came to me and they said, "Can you do the furniture for my buildings?" And then I started doing the furniture for their lobbies and things like that. And really tailoring it for them, So I was really, their architects had built this beautiful shell, and I went in and from the center kind of grew it out from the center, and the architects would grow it out from the outside in, and I would grow it from the inside out. And then these marketing companies, Douglas Elliman, Corcoran, with the different people, Stribling, would come to me and say, "Can you design the building itself? Because you seem to know, a lot about this." And that's where 12 years ago I did my first building, and since then I've done, several. So that's my history.
Well, I think you gave an excellent description of what you do, because I've mentioned on the show before, I live at 1 Carnegie Hill, which is now not even anywhere near being a new development. It's over 10 years old. It's done by David Rockwell, and it has a really unique look. He even did the gym, and we have orange workout machines, which everybody loves. And he also did Nobu, which I always feel hungry when I'm in my gym, because there's a real similarity between the ceilings in the gym and Nobu. I think he did that to me purposely to make me friendly with the Niporent brothers. But what's your next project? What are you working on in New York, and what are you working on in Palm Beach?
Well, in Palm Beach, I'm working on a very exciting new project, and it's called the Bristol. It is probably one of the most luxurious condominium projects going on in the United States right now. It is in actually West Palm, so it's right across the bridge from the Okeechobee Bridge from Palm Beach. So it's facing Palm Beach, and it has very large floor plans between 5,000, 10, 12, 15,000 square feet, ranging dollar-wise maybe around $7 million to around 20-something million dollars. And these units and this building is really catered towards a Palm Beach client, probably a Palm Beach client who no longer wants to have to deal with running an estate or a very large home, who wants to be able to drive in. They arrive from Chicago, New York, Aspen, anywhere around, United States mainly, or the world. We have some European buyers as well, and park their car, get off their private plane, come in, park their car, get into their amazing home, and just get going. And when they leave, they just leave. They lock the door. No longer do they want to deal with, $300,000, $400,000 landscaping bills a year, which sounds insane, but that's just the way it is. The building has lots of amenities. We have several. We have like 8 amenities, and 2 of the developers who are part of the 3-4 developer kind of team are going to be living in the building, and they're all, I would say, they're older, and they have incredible taste. They're people who have been developers for a long time and have homes around the world, and at this point, they want this building to be the building. It's not about jazz and pizzazz and about, big over-the-top chandeliers that are just going to impress like Miami, but it's much more about detail, quality, timelessness, incorporating and putting things that are limited edition items, collector's items, really things that are for an elitist person, but not quiet luxury, powdery, something that is serene. And that's what I've tried to achieve.
What are some of the amenities in there?
Well, we have, for example, we have several. We have a dry and a wet spa. That means the wet spa is always his and hers wet spas. These spas are as nice or even more nice than most spas I've ever seen. And I've been around the world looking at spas when I did this one. They are, and you can see these on the BristolPalmBeach.com. And these spas, for example, all slab floors and walls. Slabs means no tile. This is a full piece of marble sliced out, usually around 5 feet by 10 feet. White marble, a Dolomiti, which is a stunning white marble with a slight kind of stray. That's the floors and the walls, like reminiscent of old, beautiful spas that you would find, in Baden-Baden and, Germany, or in, Istanbul during, the kind of the hammam era. It has steam room, sauna, and these are beautifully designed with windows. For example, on the women's side, there are windows in the saunas that overlook the water, Palm Beach, and the lake. That is Lake Worth between this building and Palm Beach, and then the water beyond. And the interior of the spa. So we have the steam room, sauna. We've got indoor and outdoor treatment rooms.
I'm so upset. I really would like to live there. I didn't marry well enough and divorced too severely to get there now. This sounds really amazing. And is there a big difference in the price because you don't go over the bridge? Is that a rationale, or is it more just so that you could have the space to build because Palm Beach itself is so developed?
That's exactly it. I don't think you'll never get a property like this in Palm Beach, and it's not allowed. There is no property like this left in Palm Beach. So this was a very unique piece of property, and that's it. And I think that people are buying. The sales center hasn't even opened. It's tomorrow night is the opening. But
before we go, just give me the price range again. From where are we starting, at what size apartment, at what price point?
I think it's a little over $2,000 a square foot. So I think the apartments start nearly 4,000 square feet, and they're around 8 million, or they're like 3,000 something square feet, and they're whatever, the double, 7 million, and they go up to around 10,000 to 20 million and larger. And I think at this kind of price level, the clientele that's coming in, we're accommodating floor plans and spaces for the client. If someone wants to combine 2 apartments or 3 apartments, we're doing that for them. So
I see my engineer taking copious notes. I think he's buying a place because he wants to be closer to his mom, who he was visiting recently.
Right.
So
Right.
I hope I can get a commission on this. Although I'm not
Absolutely.
speaking too loudly, my sister is in the studio, and I just saw her ears prick up as soon as she heard commission. And so Kathy's going to get a piece of this. Thank you so much for joining us, Amir. This is really
Oh,
interesting.
you're welcome.
Tell us your website so people can go to it.
It's www.amirkdesign.com. AmirKdesign.com.
Amir Khamneipur, a really talented designer. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stribling
Thank
from New York.
you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Bye.